Good evening, everybody. My name is Jennifer Anderson, and I'm the Executive Director of Breast Cancer Solutions. We are thrilled to have you with us tonight for a magical time for giving. Now, we all know that this should have been an in-person event with a dinner and a silent auction, and unfortunately, our current pandemic has made it so we are doing this as a virtual stay-home event. But people across the country are joining us tonight to help the clients who need us now and those who need us in the future. We would like to give a couple of thank yous right now. First and foremost, we would like to thank all of the sponsors and donors who have made this event possible, and you're going to hear a little more about them later on in this program. We would also like to give a very, very special thank you to Rick Valasek, because without him, this video would not be possible. We have an inspirational program lined up for you tonight. You're going to hear from board members, you'll hear from donors, community supporters, volunteers, and most importantly, some of our clients. Their stories are so important because it helps you understand how the support that you give Breast Cancer Solutions helps people right here in our local communities. These are individuals who are facing severe financial hardship, and now with the challenges of COVID-19, that financial hardship is even greater. So we are coming together as a community to do some great things tonight, and we're so glad that you're going to be a part of it. And since this is a magic themed event, we do have some special entertainment lined up along the way, so stay tuned for that. So maybe right now you're having some dinner, beverage, maybe you even dressed up like you would be going to our in-person event, or maybe you decided to just put on your jammies and wind down for the night. But either way, you're here, you're with us. We're so glad that you chose to spend your Thursday night with us, and we would like you to sit back and relax and join us for a magical time for giving. And now I'd like to introduce Heather Gilbert, our Top Hat sponsor, who has a special welcome message for you.
Thanks, Jennifer, and welcome to a magical night of giving for Breast Cancer Solutions. Isn't this an exciting new way to bring our supporters together? Please enjoy what Breast Cancer Solutions team has prepared for you tonight. Hello, my name is Heather Gilbert, and I've been a volunteer with Breast Cancer Solutions since joining the founding board in 1997. There were 5 founders at that time, 3 who were social workers with the Orange County Social Services Department, 1 who had prior experience with nonprofit organizations, and 1 who was pretty good at using a computer to keep track of clients. At the time, the 3 social workers identified a unique problem, with all of the difficulty paying for medical expenses for breast cancer. The one thing that wasn't being covered was household expenses, food, rent, etc. And so that is why we started the organization. That's why I've stayed involved with Breast Cancer Solutions all of this time. And that's why I ask you to join me in making magic tonight by helping us help them.
Hello, I'm Joe Ames from BK Cellars Urban Winery and Tasting Lounge in Escondido, California. While we may be in the northern part of Sandeno County, we are honored to help with the fundraising efforts for Breast Cancer Solutions. My wife, Danya, and I first met Jennifer Anderson with Breast Cancer Solutions after having been introduced to her by Scott and Vivian Schultz, our good friends. Her passion for the organization made us want to help. So, we thought we would help with this year's fundraising efforts by offering a 20% off online discount coupon under the code BCS20, that's BCS20, online on our website at bksellers.com, and we will donate 20% of net proceeds to Breast Cancer Solutions. And don't worry, you don't need to drive down to Escondido to pick up the wine. You can come to Off the Vine Cellars in Laguna Hills, right off of Cabot Road and Oso Parkway to pick up your wine. Cheers.
Breast Cancer Solutions has been serving local communities for almost 23 years. One of the things that I've seen in the almost 20 years I've been a part of the organization is that we really do things differently. We start with a "how are you" with our clients, and we go through a really thorough needs assessment to see what we need to do to formulate a plan to tailor our assistance to really what they need. Sometimes it's support, sometimes it's resource navigation, sometimes it's financial assistance. But the most important thing is that we take the time and spend that time with every individual who comes to us who needs our help. It's one of the things I'm most proud of, because sometimes clients call us and they just need somebody to talk to and they get a caring voice at the other end of the phone. Sometimes they need help with housing assistance because they have a 3-day or quit notice. But the thing that has been constant throughout our almost 23 years of existence is that clients have learned, and our community has learned, that they can rely on us. We're here, and it's important to us that no client ever has to make the choice between breast cancer treatment or staying working to keep herself or her family housed and fed and clothed and keep gas in the car and be able to afford medical expenses. So, over 22 and a half years of serving Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties, we have helped over 4,500 clients with 60,000 support hours and over 30,000 referrals to other supportive resources, and we've dispersed almost $5.3 million in financial assistance. Now, that financial assistance has been for things like housing and food and gasoline and utilities and all those things to help somebody overcome those financial barriers to treatment. One of the things that has inspired me since this organization started is our ability to adapt and shift when we need to. And over the last almost 23 years that Breast Cancer Solutions has been here, there have been challenges, and 2020 is no different, as we all know. But even though we've had to do a few things differently in the last 6-8 months, even though we've had to shift our operations, the most important thing is that nothing has changed on the client side. We're still providing our services seamlessly. We've even made some adjustments to deal with the challenges of COVID-19. For instance, we know that our clients are having trouble getting to public places. They have compromised immune systems. They really should not be going to a place where they have to mail or fax in an application for financial assistance to us. So we made our application online. So even small things like that can address the challenges and changes that we need to make, and that's okay because we're an organization that can adapt, whether it's to a client need or what's going on in our community. We are flexible.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Edward Nelson. I am Chief of the Division of Hematology Oncology at the University of California, Irvine, and a board member of Breast Cancer Solutions. We know that we have seen tremendous progress over decades in the survival of patients with breast cancer. A large part of that is due to better screening, but a substantial part of it is to better therapeutics, such as the development of anthracyclines in the 1980s, the development of taxanes in the early 1990s, the development of advanced hormonal therapies in the early 2000s. And from the outset, from 1940 to 2008, there were a total of 13 FDA-approved molecularly targeted therapeutics. If we look at the next decade, that would be 2008 to 2018, we see a continuation of the acceleration in the development of molecularly targeted therapeutics, such that there were 76 FDA-approved molecularly targeted therapeutics in this decade. If we now look at the next 2.5 years, from 2018 to the third quarter of 2020, this accelerated, and indeed in that 2.5-year period, we had 48 FDA-approved molecularly targeted therapeutics. The next graph shows you the acceleration, the logarithmic growth in the development of molecularly targeted therapeutics, and provides a reason why practicing medical oncologists have to stay up to date and have to understand the rapidly evolving complex of therapies offered for all of our patients, but breast cancer patients in particular. We expect that with these molecularly targeted therapeutics, we will see a dramatic improvement in the survival of patients with breast cancer. However, all of that progress does not matter if you don't have the funds to buy the fuel to get yourself to the doctor's appointment or get yourself to the treatment. It does not matter if you don't have the money and you have to decide between your very expensive medications and having food on the table, a roof over your heads, electricity or water. It is for that reason that I am a board member of Breast Cancer Solutions. Breast Cancer Solutions is a nonprofit organization that helps our breast cancer patients in need to provide some support for them to make it so that they do not have to make these extraordinarily difficult choices.
Melissa was first diagnosed with breast cancer 9 years ago. Fast forward to 2019 when her husband noticed a lump. She was enrolled into the Every Woman Counts program, which provides breast cancer care to uninsured women in California. She was able to get her diagnostic care through St. Jude and was diagnosed with stage 3A invasive mammary carcinoma in November of 2019. Melissa was facing a treatment plan that included surgery, chemotherapy, and potentially radiation. Her husband had recently been laid off, and although she'd been working prior to being diagnosed, she was not able to continue because of the side effects of her treatment. With only disability income to cover their living expenses and medical costs, their monthly shortfall was over $2,000. Melissa connected with a social worker for referrals to supportive resources. That's how she found out about Breast Cancer Solutions. Melissa reached out to Breast Cancer Solutions in February of this year. Her financial situation and treatment would now be compounded by the financial impact of COVID-19. Breast Cancer Solutions provided financial assistance for Melissa's rent, groceries, and transportation. She told us that for her, Breast Cancer Solutions means relief.
Tonight, I'd like to share with you the experiences that our breast cancer patients have as they first learn that they have breast cancer. For all of our patients, when they sit in the doctor's office and hear the words, "I'm sorry, you have cancer," it is as though a little gremlin crawls into their brain and, like the old style radios which had a gain on them, cranks up the gain in our brains. The noise that is in the background and is largely ignored by all of us is suddenly much, much louder. Our patients have intrusive thoughts. They can't concentrate. They can't multitask. They essentially hear nothing after we say the words, "I'm sorry, you have breast cancer." This disruption of their life, this inversion and this turning their life upside down makes it extremely difficult for our patients to navigate the normal ups and downs of life, the normal decisions of life, interactions with loved ones, and it makes it very difficult for them if their life is on the cusp of being financially tenuous, to problem solve and think about, how in the world am I going to do this? essentially, many of our patients get paralyzed in that way. Now, for those that have supportive partners or a strong support network, it can mitigate this difficult time and this difficult experience. But for those that don't have that, the single mothers, the mothers with husbands that travel a lot, or that or families where two incomes are absolutely essential for them to make ends meet, and she's confronted with not being able to work because of her breast cancer. Those patients, the ones that are having trouble, those are the patients that Breast Cancer Solution targets. Those are the patients that we try and help. It would be reasonable for you to ask, why and how do you know that this is really what happens to patients who are told that they have cancer? It's a reasonable question. Because just because I've taken care of cancer patients for 30 years doesn't mean that I would know that. But the fact that I am a cancer survivor myself means that I do know that. So tonight, help us to make magic. Help us help them.
Hi, my name's Barb Meserve, and I got involved with Breast Cancer Solutions because I've been through breast cancer twice. It's very, very scary. You don't know if the treatment will work. You don't know if the cancer will spread. You don't know how long you're going to live. And then I found out there were all these bills on top of all of it. It was hard because we had very good insurance, and luckily we had enough savings that we could cover it. But when I was lying there in bed, sick with chemo, I thought, what does somebody do that doesn't have the savings? What does somebody do that's supporting their family all on their own? So I decided when I felt better, which was a while, that I would find an organization that would help people going through treatment. There are a lot of organizations out there helping breast cancer. A lot of them are raising funds for cures. It's great, they're wonderful. But there aren't very many to actually help someone in need when they're in the middle of treatment. So I was so happy to find Breast Cancer Solutions. It is a fabulous organization. It's local, it's mainly volunteer, so you know that there's very low overhead and that most of your funds are going directly to the patient. So important. It really made me feel good to be helping out. This year, I think it is more important than ever that we help out. With COVID, people are out of work, businesses are shut down. People were stretched thin from before they even got cancer, and now they're getting cancer and there's nothing they can do to help get more income, so they really need the funds. So, giving is really magical and can help so many people. You can make this evening magical. Help us help them.
I'm Kaitlin Sandeno Hogan. I'm a two-time Olympic swimmer. I competed in 2000 and 2004 Olympic Games. I'm proud to say I have 4 Olympic medals, 1 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze medals. I'm a local girl, born and raised in Lake Forest, currently reside in Newport Beach, California with my amazing husband. I personally have been affected by breast cancer with my mother being diagnosed in 2015. I'm proud to say and relieved and grateful to say that she's beat cancer. But last November, Thanksgiving week, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. She is currently going through treatment. As you can imagine, even more of a struggle in the middle of a pandemic. I've seen firsthand what this terrible disease does to women emotionally, physically, spiritually, you name it, the roller coaster of emotions. As a sister, as a daughter, I just found it my biggest calling to be their number one supporter, to help them keep their positivity up, but it's challenging. It definitely affects the whole family. Currently, as my sister's going through this, we ride the emotions daily. Some days she's great, and some days not so much. So it's very important to me that we rally around these brave and strong women, and we just show them that they're not alone. I think that's the biggest takeaway that I've gone through this process, is letting the one that is going through this battle knowing that they're not in this battle alone. If we can surround them with strength and positivity and encouragement and prayers, I know firsthand it goes a long way. And allowing people in to help you through this journey, I think that is really important. So as somebody that stands by my loved ones and too many other friends and family that have gone through this, I just think that's my personal calling in this march, is to be somebody's biggest support system. You can make magic tonight. Help us, help them.
My name is Becky Ryan. I've been a volunteer with Breast Cancer Solutions since 2005. This is my husband, Matt Ryan. I went through breast cancer treatment in 2002, and when I was going through treatment, I realized that the best medical team was not enough, that my outcome would depend on the other resources that I had available, specifically my husband and my parents, who were able to drive me to medical visits, to chemotherapy sessions, and to care for our baby daughter while I was at those appointments. I was grateful that I had family that lived in the local area, that their jobs permitted them the time to take care of me, and that we could afford a babysitter. I knew that when I wanted to find an organization to volunteer with, that it would be an organization that provided those kinds of supportive resources to people that didn't have the kind of network that I had available. I started as a volunteer with Breast Cancer Solutions in 2005. I held the position of treasurer and board chair during my 13 years on the board of directors.
The mission is important because BCS is providing an unmet need for the local community. Even if you have the best doctors, the best treatments available, the best insurance, if you can't get to your appointments, if you can't get to your surgeries, then all of that's useless. It may seem foreign to some, but some people don't have the choice of going to their medical appointments and going to work and getting income to feed their family. BCS provides that for the people that have to make that choice between getting treatment for their cancer or providing for their family.
I support Breast Cancer Solutions for two main reasons. As treasurer, I could see where every dollar was spent. BCS is exceptionally mindful in making sure that client spending is maximized for the most benefit for each client. I could see firsthand that each staff member treated every decision with careful attention to financial prudence. BCS treats every client like family. The model of compassionate support, combined with financial aid, makes sure that every client's experience is personalized. Concern for clients is genuine and heartfelt. BCS makes magic for them. Today you can make magic. Help us, help them.
Hello, my name is Silvia Núñez, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a client advocate with Breast Cancer Solutions. Most of my clients are hardworking women who make a living working in factories, as housekeepers or babysitting, and many of them have children. Some of them are single and they don't have family or a support system. In these situations, in these interactions, there are many magical moments that I could describe, but three consistently stand out. First, when they share their feelings of sadness, anger, or even fear with me. And I'm able to validate these feelings and let them know that is perfectly normal and okay. And usually my words help create a sense of normality and allow them to be more open with family members. So it's magical to witness the relief that comes when they feel listened to, understood, validated, and not so alone in the process. Other times, magic happens when we are able to joke or laugh together, which brings a moment of pleasure and joy for both of us, and I just love that. And lastly, it's simply magical when I get to inform my clients that the assistance has been approved. So I really enjoy making that call and delivering the good news. And although it doesn't eliminate all the struggles, it provides them with hope, safety, and a sense of relief. They feel that they matter and know that their well-being is important to us. So help us create these magical moments with your support. Muchas gracias.
Meet Lisa. Lisa was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer in June 2019. Her treatment plan included 6 rounds of chemotherapy, followed by surgery and additional treatments that would last nearly a year. Lisa had private insurance through her employer, but she was responsible for co-payments and her share of cost allocation for her treatment. Lisa works in a profession where she's around young children. As a single mom to a young adult child, she stayed working to be able to afford her medical expenses. She used sick time to go to treatment appointments, but she knew that once it was exhausted, she'd have to take a leave without pay or stay working to maintain their daily living expenses and potentially delay or stop treatment. Lisa found Breast Cancer Solutions through an internet search. Her biggest concern was making sure her medical costs were covered, but by paying those, she would be at risk of not being able to afford her living expenses. Breast Cancer Solutions help Lisa with assistance for food and other household expenses, and our team has spent time accessing other resources in her area. Lisa is very grateful for the assistance she received. She said in a recent note, "I would like to thank you all for the help you gave me while I was going through treatment. I really, really, really did appreciate everything that you did for me."
Hello, my name is Diana Lithgow. I am the current president of Breast Cancer Solutions. I am following in the footsteps of visionaries before me who saw the need to support women in financial distress during their breast cancer treatments. I'm a family nurse practitioner, 34 years. I see women's health, and a large percentage of my care is in breast cancer. I have family members, 2 aunts, 2 cousins, and a sister who are breast cancer survivors, and many friends, just like many of you. I got my PhD looking at breast cancer biomarkers in my clinical research, trying to find something that told us breast cancer was happening and changes were occurring in the breast before actual cancer came, much like we have for the PAP for cervical cancer. But we're not there yet. We don't have that tool yet. We're still working on it. Well, in my professional practice, my personal life, and my research work, we have breast cancer as a recurring theme for me, and therefore Breast Cancer Solutions is near and dear to my heart. Until we have a breast cancer biomarker or predictive test and better treatment, we need to help women who are undergoing breast cancer treatments. They're in difficult times. They need resources and they need financial support so they can go on living long and healthy lives. That's where we come in. Without Breast Cancer Solutions, many of these women would have to choose between their treatments or paying the rent or paying their bills or taking care of their families while they were sick. No woman should have to make that choice. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Now, at this very surreal time in our country, with this COVID-19 virus, they're not getting their mammograms. They're not going into facilities because they're afraid. They're foregoing their preventive health care. Yet cancer is not taking a vacation or a staycation. Their cancers are still growing inside them. They're advancing. And soon we're going to see a bloom of cancer, breast cancers, in more advanced stages than they were before, requiring more difficult, advanced, and aggressive treatments. And at the same time, our organization, Breast Cancer Solutions, is undergoing some difficult financial times because our traditional fundraising efforts have all been thwarted. At a time where we're going to need more for these women, we have less. So we've come up with this magical evening to try to prepare for what's ahead, for what's going to happen when these women find their cancers, and they're going to need our help. They're going to need your help. So, please make tonight magic by helping us help them.
Hi, thanks for coming. My name is Ron Porter, and I really hope to be there with you live and in person to share some magic tonight. I'd like to thank all of the sponsors for tonight's event. Ann and Jim, it's great to see you. It's been a long time. I hope we can get together soon. Right now, when so many people need our help, we're asking you to just reach into your pocket, take out $1 or $2 or $3 or 10 or 20, whatever you can afford. It's important that everybody participate because together, those dollars can turn into miracles and we can help so many people and their families. So thank you all for coming. Do what you can tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you all at a live event where we can share the magic together. And thanks for helping us help them.